Children, welcome all of you to the online classes of biology. So children, in the last classes we have studied about various topics like replication, then transcription and genetic code. So today we are going to learn about translation. So what is translation? That is the formation of proteins from RNA. Okay, the message from DNA is copied to RNA. Now in according to the base sequences or codons of RNA, proteins or amino acids are joined to form polypeptide chain and later they'll be forming protein. So this process is known as what? Translation. Understood? And translation takes place where? In the cytoplasm, especially in the organelle called the ribosomes. And you have learned that ribosomes are having two subunits, the larger subunit and the smaller subunit, isn't it? And they are seen separately, they are not seen unitedly when they are not in the this process of translation. Okay, they are found separately. So let's study how this process takes place. Okay, you can see the diagram of a ribosome here and the translation unit here. And a translation unit in mRNA contains a start codon, okay, and a stop codon, okay, and in between them some codons that has to be transcribed. Understood? So in a translation unit, what all are there? There will be a what start codon, and then in between the start codon and then a stop codon, and in between them a number of codons that has to be translated. And they also contains a number of sequences that are not translated, that are not translated, and they are known as untranslated regions, UTRs. Okay, so these UTRs are present at both 5' end and at the end of the 3' end, means after the stop codons. Okay, there are some sequences that are not transcribed, so in a translated. So in a translation unit, what all will be there? There will be a start codon, then some codons that has to be translated, and then stop codons. And before the start codon there are certain UTRs, means untranslated regions will be there. And after the 3' end, means in the 3' end after the stop codons there will be some UTRs. Okay, so they are needed for the efficient translation process, and also what means for the efficiency, it increases the efficiency of translation. What all? This UTRs. Okay, now in the ribosome, I told ribosomes are found as two subunits, larger subunit, and this is the larger subunit, and this is the smaller subunit. Okay, and in the larger subunit you can see two sides, okay, where the tRNA with the tRNA attached with the amino acids can reach and can join the the bond between the amino acids which are carried by the tRNA. Okay, so how this process takes place? So first of all, this takes place in 3 steps, you can see. First is charging of tRNA, okay, then different steps, okay, that is charging of tRNA, that is the first process that takes place. Okay, I'll explain what is it. Then initiation of translation, elongation and termination. Understood? So the first phase I told, it is the charging of tRNA. So here what happens is the amino acids, okay, if they are brought together, see how polypeptides are formed by the joining of amino acids, isn't it? Which is the bond between the amino acids? Do you remember? That is peptide bond. So when two amino acids are joined by peptide bond, okay, what will happen? The number of means the polypeptide chains length will increase by adding what amino acids one by one by peptide bond. Understood? So this is not possible if the amino acids are not charged. So for the first phase is what? To charge the amino acids. Okay, so this is done with the help of what? tRNA. tRNA will be added to ATP, or they will react with amino acids. Okay, that is, amino acids are activated in the presence of ATP, and then it will be linked to their own tRNA. I told if there are 20 amino acids, there will be 20 different tRNAs. So this is the process, first phase. Okay, what is it? Charging of tRNA. What happens is, in this is, what amino acids will be activated in the presence of ATP, and that will be linked to the particular tRNA, and that process is called what? Charging of tRNA, or amino acylation of tRNA. Okay, so if these two tRNAs are brought together, then what? Energetically means the activated amino acids, they will what? Form bond, peptide bond between them. Understood? This activated tRNA activated amino acids carrying the which is carried by the tRNA, if they are brought together, what will happen? They will they will form bonds between them. Okay, as it is a energetically favorable process. Okay, so this is the first phase of what? The translation process, that is activation of amino acids. Okay, or charging of tRNA, or amino acylation of tRNA, etc. can be called. Okay, so what is happening here? The means amino acids are charged in the presence of ATP, and they will be linked to the particular tRNA. So during initiation, what happens is, I told ribosomes are having two subunits, isn't it? Smaller subunits and larger subunit. Okay, so when the small subunit encounters an mRNA, okay, and the ribosomes, this part, okay, will bind to the mRNA at the start codon. Okay, that will be recognized by the initiated tRNA. Understood? So what happens during initiation? The smaller subunits of ribosomes encounters an mRNA, and it binds to the start codon. Okay, so this initiates the translation process. Understood? So you can see that after that what will happen? The larger subunit also will join to this. Okay, so during the elongation phase, what happens is, the ribosomes move codon to codon, and at that time, okay, they'll be encountering a new codon, isn't it? So another tRNA with a particular amino acid. Okay, tRNA and mRNA, how they will pair? By codon anticodon relation. You can see here, GUU is the codon here. So the tRNA with CAA will be joining here, and that particular tRNA will carry what? Valine. Understood? So like this, during elongation, the tRNA with amino acids will come and join to the mRNA's codon by codon anticodon complementarity. Understood? Now when this particular amino acid move to the next site, what will happen? Another one, new one, you can see here, new one will come and join with this. This is the new one. Okay, new one will come and join with this, and this ribosome will move little bit further so that it can read this codon. Okay, so it will move this side, and the codon AAU will be means they will base pair with UUA, and tRNA with the another amino acid will come to this position. Now what will happen is, you can see here, the amino acids are very close to each other and they are already charged. So what will happen? A peptide bond will form, and this will be just shifted to this side. Okay, this growing amino acid chain with this tRNA, okay, with this tRNA will move to this side, and another one will come and join to the this side. Understood? So like this, what will happen? The tRNA with the growing polypeptide chain will move to the next site, and to the acceptor site, what will happen? tRNA with a new amino acid will join. Understood? So what will happen then? The growing polypeptide chain and the newly reached amino acid will form a peptide bond. After that, this first tRNA that will get detached, and the second one that is newly came, okay, that will shift to the next site, okay, and a new tRNA with a new amino acid will come to the acceptor site. Understood? So in this way, what elongation process takes place? How elongation process takes place? As the what happens, the ribosomes will move from mRNA, okay, move through the mRNA from one codon to another codon, okay, and then what happen, there will be bond formation between the growing polypeptide chain and between the what newly reached amino acids. So in this way, what will happen? The polypeptide chain's length will increase. Okay, the ribosomes moves from codon to codon along the mRNA, and amino acids are added one by one. Okay, so this will help in the formation of polypeptide chain. And at the end, during the termination, what happens is, okay, release factors, certain factors are there that are known as release factors, okay, they will bind to the stop codon, because I told translation unit will have a what initiator codon, isn't it? Then they will have a stop codon, and in between them the translating codons will be there. So when the ribosomes reaches to the stop codon, what will happen? Some release factors will go and bind to the stop codon, so that what happen, the ribosomes can no longer exist there, and that will that will get disassociated into larger and smaller subunit, and that will result in the end of the translation process. So is it clear to everyone how translation takes place? So I told translation is the so what all you will write in this? Translation is the process of what the formation of protein or polypeptide chain from mRNA. Understood? And this takes place where? In the ribosomes, in the cytoplasm. Okay, so mRNA which is formed in the nucleus as hnRNA will leave the nucleus and get processed. Okay, get processed and leave the nucleus, and it will get attached to the smaller subunit of ribosomes. Okay, and then what happens? The process of translation initiated. So ribosomes they are having what also? They are having RNA as the structural units. Means ribosomes consist of structural RNAs and about 80 different proteins. Okay, so this is the reason why I told RNA is functioning as the structural component also, isn't it? So ribosomes are made up of RNA and proteins. Understood? So here you can get the example where RNA is acting as the structural component also. Okay, so it will be, this ribosomes will be existing as two different subunits, larger subunit and smaller subunit. During the process of translation, they will get associated. Okay, so first what happened during the initiation? Before initiation, what is the phase? Charging of amino acid, isn't it? So that is known as activation of what amino acids, okay, or sorry, amino acylation of tRNA or charging of tRNA. Okay, where what is happening? Amino acids are charged by reacting with ATP, and they will be linked to their own tRNAs. Understood? So this is called charging of tRNA, and after that initiation, where a smaller subunit encounters an mRNA and it will bind to the initiator codons. Okay, and then what happens? The larger subunit also get associated with this, that initiates the process of translation. Then during elongation, what is happening? The ribosomes move from one codon to another, reading the codon. Okay, and when they are moving like this, what will happen? They are having two sides. Okay, larger subunit is having two sides, which help the tRNA to get attached to the mRNA. Okay, by what? By complementarity. Okay, so codon and anticodons are complementary to each other, so they will come and bind to that site. Understood? And then what happen when they are coming? This tRNA will have a particular amino acid, and this will get accepted. Will get attached to the acceptor site, and then it will move to the next site. So what will happen? New one will come to the acceptor site, and a bond will form between the amino acids present in the tRNA. Understood? Now what will happen? The first tRNA will get released. Okay, leave the ribosomes, and a new one will come to the, and it will, the old one means the second one with the growing polypeptide chain will get translocated, or it will move to the next site, and a new one will come to the acceptor site. Again, a bond will form between the amino acid which is newly came and the old one. Understood? Then again this process will continue, and this will result in the elongation of the polypeptide chain. And when this process will stop, when some what the release factors, okay, they will bind to the stop codons, what will happen? The ribosomes cannot stay there. It will get dissociated, and it will get detached from the mRNA, and that will result in the process of, means this will result in the stopping of the translation process. Is it clear? You can see some videos where how this process takes place. Okay, so this is a cell, and this, you can see the nucleus, and the nucleus chromosomes are there. Okay, they are contained only during the cell division. And chromosomes, if you see, you can see that they contain chromatins. Chromatin contains what? Nucleosomes, where DNA is bound around the histone proteins, and this is the DNA. Okay, now RNA polymerase, which is needed for the process of transcription. Okay, so they will open the DNA, and they start adding what? Nucleotides of RNA, isn't it? Locally it will be opened. Understood? And then this mRNA, which is formed, will leave the DNA. Okay, DNA again, the strands will get complementarily base paired. Understood? hnRNA, they got processed by splicing. Okay, and they will leave the nucleus. Okay, then now ribosomes, smaller subunit and larger subunit, they got bound. Okay, and they got attached to the initiator codons, and these are tRNA with one amino acid and the anticodons. Okay, so this UCA will come and bind to what? Complement. According to the complementarity only they will bind. You can see they are the amino acids, how they are getting formed. Can you see? New one, a new tRNA with new amino acid is coming, and the other one will be pushed apart, and the polypeptide chain is getting elongated, and they will again they will get the D form. Understood? So this is the process by which, okay, DNA to RNA, and RNA to protein, and that process RNA to protein is known as translation, and this takes place through the various steps like charging of tRNA, initiation of translation, elongation and termination. So if the process is asked, you will have to explain that in steps. Okay. So I hope this is very clear to you. We will continue in the next class.